Okay, so I've got a 2013 Ford Focus, and a couple of weeks ago I thought it was running rough on the way to work and back, just occasionally, not all the time, just every once in a while. Thought I might be imagining things, and one day I stopped to fuel up, and when I topped it off and went to start my car, it didn't want to start. It finally started, ran just a few seconds and cut off. Then it was hard to start again. When it finally started, I revved the engine a little bit and it ran. I drove it to work the next day, and on the way home the check engine light came on. So I'm thinking, well, crap. So I got home and checked it, and I get a code P1450, something like unable to exhaust the uptake vacuum or something. Having to do with this guy right here. Looked on YouTube and I found all kind of videos about the cause and that it was changed, but it was a nightmare. It was an absolute nightmare. All the videos I saw about how hard it was to take off. And when I came out and looked at my 2.0, as you can see, looking at the front of the engine on the driver's side, this is it right here, and it goes back to, if I can get it where you can see it, back here. Sorry, this is my first video. Back here it connects on, but the hard part is way down in there. See that green? Okay, yeah, that little green sucker right there. Now, all the horror stories had me thinking, well, crap. Maybe I should have thought this over before trying it. But I can tell you, look, yeah, it's hard to reach, but it's real easy. I changed this thing using 3 tools. Small flathead screwdriver, rather, not Phillips. A wrench. This one, it doesn't matter what size. It's a 20 millimeter. I don't know if it'll focus or not. It's a 20 millimeter. Just take my word for it. Doesn't matter. And a little chisel or pry bar, whatever you want to call it. And I can tell you, showing you this sucker. On each end, basically it's the same thing on each end. You've got 2 components. See if I can focus. Okay. On this end, all you have to do when you go down in there is take your screwdriver. Move the hoses out the way. You don't even have, I started to take all this off. You don't have to take all that off. I saw a few videos where they stripped everything down. You don't have to do that. Reach down and push down on the little tabs on each side. We're talking about this tab here. Why won't it focus? That tab and this tab, and once you push it down like that, it doesn't matter if it falls out, your new one's got one in it. And that top piece is up. I just took my screwdriver and pushed down on this, because when you push down on it, if you look inside, it'll actually spread when you push inside, when you push in on it like that. So you're thinking, well, how do you push in on it? Well, I just took my screwdriver, and I apologize for the blurry, and I pushed in on it, and while I was pushing in on it, at the same time, I took my handy dandy wrench, put down in there, and pulled back on it, and guess what? It just slipped right off. So I thought, well, damn. Now, believe it or not, the hardest piece was this, because I lost a little clip to hold it on. I've got to get a clip. It snaps into place anyway, but there's a little clip on the outside. If you're not careful, it will fly off and you will lose it like I did. So I've got to get another one. Right now it's clipped on tight. So I went back to the back one back here. You can see a little better if you go over the engine here up near the firewall. And this one I was able to do with my fingers. I just reached back and pulled those green tabs back toward me and reached around with my finger and pushed the little green button in on the other side, lifted it up, and it came right off. Guess what? It goes on in reverse the same way, but I would advise you to put this end on first and make sure that it goes underneath a little fuel hose right here. It goes under there. Don't go on top, because if you get it clipped and that's on top, it's a beauty to get off, and if you lose that tab, then you're screwed. So yeah, 10 minutes tops. No special tools, no big money, and it's changed. So I went and cleared my code, went down to the gas station, fueled up, and hesitatingly cranked my vehicle. It's got the capless vented system, and whenever I cranked it up, guess what? It cranked up. And when I took it down the road, I gassed on it good and hard. It's run great. I've driven it several miles since then. The check engine light has not come back on, and fingers crossed that took care of it. Like I said, 10 minutes, just a couple of tools. No nightmare stories. Thanks.